It's the 7A championship game between the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders and the Osceola Cowboys. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Citrus Bowl with Pat O'Hara. I'm Austin Lyon. Thank you so much for joining us. These teams have identical records, but Osceola enters this game as a huge underdog. St. Thomas Aquinas, as talented as any team in the nation.
St. Thomas Aquinas is loaded with D1 athletes. It's going to be a tough task for Osceola.
Osceola lost in the state semifinals the last 2 years, but a breakthrough this season for the Cowboys. They were finally able to get past Niceville.
It's nice to see a Central Florida team make it in. Osceola's worked very hard. We've worked closely 2 games on Bright House Sports Network with Osceola. One of them was their only loss, Austin.
Doug Nichols is a coach that relies heavily on the run. The Cowboys run it about 90% of the time on offense. They've got a bruising fullback in Ladarian Wilson.
I love Ladarian Wilson, a big bruising back. He can hurt you and punish you throughout the game. He gets better as the game goes on.
For St. Thomas Aquinas, 21 of the 22 starters that we'll see tonight for the Raiders are seniors. The lone junior might be the best of the bunch in Nicholas Bosa.
He's unbelievable. Nick Bosa, physically imposing guy. When you watch tape, he takes on triple teams, double teams. You try to run at him. You try to run away from him. He's amazing, ready for college play right now, Austin.
Bosa just a junior. Aquinas with 9 seniors who have already committed to FBS programs. A big challenge tonight for the Cowboys. With more on this matchup, we send it down to the field. Here are Preston Jackson and Mark Robinson.
All right, we are field side, 7A state championship, just minutes away. Mark Robinson, Preston Jackson, you got your pre-game notes and stuff that we need to talk about, Mark. Gulf Coast Central Florida Honda dealers, keys to the game. Mark, hit me right at the top, man. What does Osceola need to get done?
Well, Osceola really needs to control the clock, and I tell you, this team, they've got a great fullback in Ladarian Wilson there who can tote the mail. He's going to be key to this game here, but you know, Aquinas can score quickly and score quickly. If they don't have the football, it's hard to score, Preston.
So they got to slow down Osceola, right? St. Thomas, do they get that done?
Well, it's going to be difficult to get it done because, you know, St. Thomas is St. Thomas, and I just want to say it that way. This team is very dominant, and defense is where it's going to be key. They're going to dominate on defense. It starts up front with the front four. The front four is dynamic, explosive. Those guys up there, they're fierce, and if you can't slow those guys down, it's going to be a long day.
The signal caller for St. Thomas Aquinas having a magical season this year. Obviously, he's led them here to the state championship game. Tell me about Jake Rizzo.
Well, this kid, if you allow him to get on his spot, he'll pick you apart. It'll be a long day for Osceola. You've got to somehow get him to move. You got to get pressure on him, blitz him, attack him, try to get him off his spot. If you let him get back there comfortable behind his big physical line, it's going to be a long night.
When we return, we'll have Rocco Casello's pregame speech and kickoff here at 7A State Championship coming up. Osceola Cowboys with a K, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Don't know much about Cowboys, but I know one thing for sure. Raiders want gold. They travel the world for gold. They travel the continent for gold. Gold. Raiders want gold. And it won't be right if you don't leave this place without gold. So get it done. Yes, sir. You've worked way too hard for that. You deserve it. Get it done. Bring it in right now. Let's go. Bring it in. Let's go. Let's go. Get the break. Get the break. You go. We go. Get out ball night. That's it. Let's go.
Rocco Casullo's final message to his team in the Aquinas locker room prior to the 7A title game. Let's get the thoughts of Cowboys coach Doug Nichols. He's down on the field with our Despina Bart.
Yes, Coach Nichols, you knew all the headlines coming into this game that you guys were channeled as the underdogs in this contest. How have you prepared your team for that tonight?
Well, we didn't do anything different. We've kind of been underdogs all along, so we just kind of played to that role, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Thank you, Coach. Austin?
All right, Despina opening kickoff received by Osceola and returned by Etwan Black near the 25-yard line. Aquinas won the toss and deferred, so it's Osceola that gets a chance on offense first with junior quarterback Isaiah Wilson, really more of a game manager up to this point.
Yeah, game manager's really improved over the course of the year since we covered him. I think it was week 2 or week 3 against Lake Marion, their only loss, overtime loss. Come a long way, manages the game well. It's done a good job for them.
Just 41 pass attempts the entire season for Wilson. He was 3 for 3 throwing it last week in the state semifinal win against Niceville. Officials trying to get a football back to the Aquinas sideline before we get going. Watch the matchup in the trenches. St. Thomas Aquinas with a defensive line that is as good as any unit in the entire country. They just maul people up front.
They do. They're right there. Nick Bosa. We're going to be calling his name a lot tonight. They're playing him there at a one technique because of the Darian Wilson's ability to rush the ball right up the middle. That's different for Bosa's position.
Cowboys come out in an eye. It's a run by LaDarian Wilson. Stood up at the line of scrimmage by Claudette Judy and driven back. Got maybe a half yard as we show you the Cowboys starting offense. It's a bevy of running backs for Cowboys coach Doug Nichols and Isaiah Brown. 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. Etwan Black 106 yards in last week's win against Niceville. 5 juniors on the offensive line. Parker Braun is both the biggest and the best. His father Mike is the offensive line coach. And credited with a lot of this team's success this year. That is a much improved group. Only 2 guys had varsity experience when the season began. They gave Wilson a yard, so call it 2nd down and 9. Right back to the fullback. Hit immediately. Wyatt Ray, the defensive end. That front 4 have wreaked havoc on opposing offensive lines. Brandon Boyce and Wyatt Ray have committed to Duke and Boston College, respectively. In the linebacking core, Damon Arnett is a converted defensive back. He's committed to South Carolina. In the secondary, Rashard Causey headed to FIU. He's the only FBS commit of that group, but all are likely to end up going to Division I programs and potentially high major programs. Osceola in a passing situation on 3rd and 9 and back to their traditional flex bone look. LaDarian Wilson puts the ball on the ground. It's recovered by Bosa.
Well, this defensive front of St. Thomas Aquinas is imposing, and they're just as equally as good. Darian Wilson just puts the ball on the ground, and Bosa, of all people, is able to just find it, scoop it. You don't want to get in 3rd and long situations if you're Osceola because you're a team that likes to rush the football, but you definitely don't want to turn the ball over against St. Thomas Aquinas.
First turnover of the postseason for Osceola's offense. One of the things that Doug Nichols attributed to their great run through the playoffs is that they have not turned the ball over. They put it on the ground on the 3rd play from scrimmage. Aquinas sets up from inside the Cowboy 25. Handoff is to Jordan Scarlett, the Miami commit, looking for the edge. Osceola does a nice job stringing him out. Dominic Lee forced him out of bounds after a pickup of 1. Jake Rizzo, senior quarterback, first-year starter for Aquinas. 26 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. He's had a fantastic season.
Yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas has had a series of quarterbacks over the years that wait their turn and play. John O'Corn, quarterback at Houston now. These guys wait their turn. They come in prepared and ready to go. You see how he's taking care of the ball. Only 2 interceptions.
A lot of people thought he would be a question mark for this Raiders offense going into the year. Coaching staff said they had big expectations for him, and he has exceeded those. Rizzo with a short completion. That's Jawan Harris, senior wide receiver. 33rd catch of the year. Let's show you the Raiders offensively. Mentioned Scarlett, a Miami commit, just over 1,100 yards for him. Harris and Sam Bruce both with 5 touchdown catches in the postseason. Left guard Samuel Klossman, right tackle Colin Byrne. Both Syracuse commits. Offensive line averages more than 290 pounds a man. That is a large group.
They're a big-bodied team. They look like a college team out there.
3rd down and 5. And Rizzo going to work from the shotgun. Looking right, slings it into traffic, and it's nearly intercepted. Diving attempt by Stephon Brown inside the 5. Great job by Osceola's defense with a sudden change.
Yeah, they tried a corner and sort of sit-down route concept, and really that ball flashed in front of Riley Nicholson, linebacker, and got up on the receiver. Receiver never saw it. Very fortunate for Aquinas. That ball wasn't turned over, and a huge stop for Osceola here after the turnover.
34-yard attempt. Zach Cicero is the short field goal kicker. Hasn't missed this year. 4 of 4 with a long of 28. That one splits the uprights. His longest field goal of the season. Aquinas capitalizes on the turnover, gets 3 for an early lead. Playoff history with these two programs. Aquinas about as good as it gets in Florida. Next to Jacksonville Bowl. 7 state titles. That's tied for second. Osceola's lone championship came back in 1998.
Yeah, Aquinas 2 years ago, they were right here. Won their state championship, I believe it was against Tallahassee Lincoln, Austin.
Yep.
And last year just came short to win a championship.
Biggest crowd for any of the 6 finals that we've had so far. That's what we expected coming in. Aquinas always travels well. And Osceola, Kissimmee just 20 miles away.
20 miles away, and it's a Saturday night, so, excuse me, it's Friday night. Tomorrow's Saturday night. But we'll expect a good crowd all night, too. The 8A championship. So popular.
Taking on Miami Columbus. Have that game for you tomorrow night here on Bright House Sports Network. Well, Aquinas gets a score, but that has to be considered a win for Osceola.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to turn the ball over when you're Osceola as an offense, and you've got to be good on early downs as an offense, and that's really difficult. Your rushing team. And St. Thomas Aquinas last week against Eastlake, listen to this, had Eastlake minus 17 yards rushing next for the whole game. So Osceola's got their hands full. Got to be good on early downs.
Kickoff will reach the end zone off the foot of James McCourt, and the Cowboys will start from the 20. Doug Nichols, longtime Osceola assistant, left the program to become the head coach at Liberty, and now back, and this program has done great things under his watch. 3 consecutive state semifinal appearances. This year, a chance to play for a title.
He's really the right guy for this job. And that community is a guy from West Virginia. Came down in the rural area of Osceola. Really a great fit. He's done a tremendous job at Osceola.
Osceola come out in the I for their first 2 plays. Now back in that traditional flex bone look. Ladarian Wilson off the right side. Cut down for a loss of 2. Right now, that Aquinas defensive front doing what they've done all season and dominating the line of scrimmage.
Well, the game's going to be won at the line of scrimmage, and watch the line of scrimmage change with those dark blue shirts playing in the backfield. Osceola is a very good offensive line. They're young, but they're very good, strong, talented kids.
Brandon Boyce, leading tackler on this team. Don't often see that from a defensive tackle, but that's how good this front is. Toss to the near side. Marcus Edwards with a broken tackle and upended at the 23-yard line. That'll set up 3rd down and about 6, maybe 7.
Osceola, they've really tried to hit inside. They're a team, when they get in rhythm in their running game, Austin, they'll hit you inside, then they'll go outside, then go inside, outside. Next thing you know, they've gashed you for long chunks of yards. They've tried to hit in between the tackles, not working. Good job by Edwards there. Get in the perimeter, securing the ball. He had a little bit more manageable 3rd down situation, but these are tough for Osceola with their difficulties throwing the football. Cowboys
fumbled on their first offensive series when faced with 3rd and 9. It's now 3rd and 6. Another fumbled snap. Isaiah Wilson able to cover it back at the 20. Boy, another near disaster for Osceola. Isaiah Wilson covers it, and the Cowboys will punt.
Well, you just wonder, center quarterback exchange. I mean, you do it every day, and you just hate to put the ball on the ground. But when you got a guy named Nick Bosa playing over the center every play, I bet we'll see a few more balls on the ground. Bosa is an imposing guy. Again, he's a defensive end. They have him playing nose guard tonight. They must have seen something on film to put Bosa right over the middle.
Mateo Perez will punt to James Oliphant. Oliphant with 2 return touchdowns this season. This is a nice high driving spiral by Perez. Oliphant takes it at the 30. Makes 2 players miss. And he's going to be brought down at the 46. 49-yard punt as we use Google Earth to take you from the Citrus Bowl down to Fort Lauderdale. St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the most decorated athletic programs, not just in Florida, but in the entire country. Not that long ago, Sports Illustrated did a ranking of the top 10 high school athletic programs in the country. Aquinas was in that list. Fantastic facilities, successful in every sport. and as you can see, making their 24th consecutive appearance.
Well, it's really good protection here, and Rizzo takes a big shot. But I don't know where the foul is on the offense, but you got two receivers in the same place. They're making a play.
Here's the ball back to the 35. First down and 25. Scarlett off the left side, works his way beyond the 40 and up to the 41. A chance to show you Osceola's defense. 4-3 for Scott Spencer's unit, giving up 12.7 points per game. TJ Kelly and Derek Rivers, both terrific up front. In the linebacking core, Riley Nicholson, more than 300 career tackles. He's committed to NC State. And the secondary, solid throughout the season. Stephon Brown headed to Iowa State. Becker, just a junior. He will be a coveted prospect next season. 6'3" with terrific speed. On second down and 18, Rizzo from the gun. Once again, nice clean pocket. Looking deep for Devontae Pete, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Dominic Lee, his 4th pick of the year. Nice contingent made the trip from Aquinas. Raiders with a 3-0 lead midway through the first.
Stepping all over you, Austin. I was going to say, I mean, this is a tough situation. These 3rd and longs, Austin, this is so tough for Osceola with their inability to throw the ball as effectively as they want to.
Ladarian Wilson on the give. Got out past the 10 to the 11. It'll be a 3rd consecutive 3 and out for the Cowboys offense. They've run just 9 plays. One of them was a turnover.
You know, we were talking, Coach Nichols, I think he was asked, who do you compare St. Thomas Aquinas to? What did he say, Austin?
Florida State.
Florida State. It's a good football team they're playing. Coach Nichols knows it. I bet you he's got a few things dialed up though, up his sleeve here offensively that he'll pull out. Maybe some gadget-type plays.
Another high kick from Perez. This one not as deep. Fair catch is made in Cowboys territory by Oliphant.
Very accustomed to defending that type of offense.
Connor Fee splits out as a wide receiver toward the top of your screen.
One of the reasons why Osceola made the state championship is defense. They're an excellent defense as well that runs well sideline to sideline, and they're a tough physical bunch led by Riley Nicholson right there, number 12, headed to North Carolina State.
That's Sam Bruce, junior wide receiver. Got 7 touchdowns this year, 5 of them in the postseason. He was writhing on the field in pain at the end of that play.
Yeah, he was blocking in space, Austin, and kind of got rolled up from behind. Hopefully he can recover from that.
One of the trademarks of this Osceola program is that they're physical on both sides of the ball. Doug Nichols told us earlier this week in watching film, he's not sure that Aquinas will see a team as physical as his defense, not since they lost to Don Bosco Prep early in the season. Great cut in the hole by Scarlett. And now the speed, a clear path to the end zone for Jordan Scarlett. His 24th TD run of the year, 39 yards.
Well, you get to see Scarlett's speed and ability and his patience. Watch his patience set up and now hit it, break 2 tackles, and no one's going to even touch him. Good patience coming out of the backfield as Scarlett.
Scarlett won a state title at University School in 2012, transferred to St. Thomas Aquinas after Roger Harriet left University School to take a position as an assistant at Florida Atlantic. One of 4 kids on that University School team now at Aquinas.
Look at the pulling guard tackle and that missed tackle right there. Got to make that tackle in the backfield for a loss, but for Scarlett, what a huge transfer in for St. Thomas Aquinas.
How about what Rocco Casulo said about Scarlett? Said he reminds him of Herschel Walker. Come in and made an impact right away on college programs. Cook has carried Florida State's run game down the stretch. He believes Scarlett has that ability when he arrives at Miami next year. Kickoff from the court is returnable. From the 5-yard is returnable. From the 5-yard line, E'Twaun Black works his way out to the
and how he's going to have to get some yardage on the ground today for Osceola. Well, he took some extra steps in the offseason to secure that he'd be healthy. He actually hired a personal trainer, changed up his diet, and dropped 12 pounds in the offseason just so he's out there to stay out on the field longer. He also worked on some breathing exercises, so whenever he gets gassed, he counts down to 10, takes a few deep breaths, and he's ready to go back out there. Austin?
All right, Despina, thank you very much. Wilson tough sledding thus far. 6 carries for 2 yards. First offensive run for E'Twaun Black. Got back just to the line of scrimmage. Going back to what Despina was talking about with Ladarian Wilson, Doug Nichols told us earlier in the year the biggest difference from last year to this year is that a 25-yard run a year ago is now an 80-yard touchdown. Now, that may not be the case against Aquinas defense, but against a lot of other teams in Central Florida, it's a guy who is bruising physically with speed to take it the distance.
Yeah, and he noticeably has changed his body. I mean, the kids used to tease him over the last couple of years, and then he came back this year, totally different body, just sculpted, and we've seen him just pound teams. And in the fourth quarter, people just don't want to tackle. What Aquinas is doing, Austin, is they're putting Bosa at nose guard and trying to blow up the center to get penetration. Because Osceola wants to pull their guards. And then if you blow the center up and you can't get the guard pull now, it makes it really difficult to rush the football in this flex bone offense of Osceola.
4 running backs carry the football for this Osceola offense. Obviously, Wilson is the headliner, 232 carries for him and the 28 touchdowns. But Brown, Black, and Edwards all involved. And the idea for Nichols is that the number of carries for those 3 guys should equal about what they do for Ladarian Wilson.
Exactly right. You know, Ladarian Wilson will pound you, but he has the speed. But these other guys, they combine some tremendous speed. They'll hit at the perimeter, and they mix it up. When this offense gets in a flow and a rhythm that they want to get in, this rushing attack and this flex bone offense, they're really hard to stop going inside, outside, inside, outside. But it's just tough going right now. Now you're second along again. You got to wonder what's going on in that offensive huddle. Like the other note too is the 2 games that we did, Austin, this year, Osceola started kind of slow. Lake Nona game, Lake Mary, kind of started slow. They got better as the game went on. Now, will that happen tonight? That remains to be seen.
A lot of the teams that made it here, you look at the score by quarter, cumulative over the course of the season, and they are dominating people in the first quarter. That's not the case with Osceola. Isaiah Wilson wants to throw for the first time, has pressure, and he is swarmed. Able to dive forward to the 19. What would have been a 10-yard loss turns into a loss of about 4. No surprise to see Bosa in the middle of that.
Well, for Isaiah Wilson, they throw a lot of passes, and you see all these dark shirts coming in there. And for Wilson, he needs to keep his eyes downfield and try to locate an open receiver, but really a great job on the back end of Aquinas, no one open. And again, these 3rd down and longs, really difficult. 3rd and 13, difficult to dial up these plays, especially when you're backed up.
Mentioned Osceola runs it about 90% of the time. Doug Nichols conceded that we would probably have to throw the ball a little bit to be successful in this game. That was their first attempt. And Wilson never got the pass off. Ladarian Wilson hit by Brandon Boyce. Duke commit with his 2nd tackle for loss, 23rd of the season.
Well, St. Thomas Aquinas lucked out with this guy transferring in too. Boyce, you see him shed his block so quickly. 6 feet tall, maybe about 5'11 and a half. For a loss. You're seeing a little bit more trend in college football now, a little bit shorter defensive linemen too that play with tremendous leverage and run really well sideline to sideline, a trend nowadays.
Mateo Perez, been valuable for Osceola thus far. James Oliphant ran up, looked like he was thinking about catching that on a hop. Instead, he lets it roll to the 33. For the first time ever, high school football state champions will compete against each other in a postseason bowl game. Teams from Florida, Utah, and Washington will compete in a one-day, three-game event at Florida Atlantic University on Saturday, December 27th. The games will be televised nationally on ESPNU at noon, 4 and 8 p.m. For more information, log on to BurgerKingBowl.com. A lot of people feel that St. Thomas Aquinas is a team that's deserving of one of the bids, but Rocco Casulo doesn't have a whole lot of interest in that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll have enough players. They'll all be playing all-star games around that time.
Rizzo flushed, and he'll run. Got space, missed tackle, and he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Rizzo suffered a concussion in the loss to Don Bosco Prep. That was early in the year. Missed 2 games. First game back was a 70-0 win against South Broward. He's a guy who's getting some Division I interest. One of the few seniors on this team that doesn't have an FBS offer just yet.
Yeah, and that may come. You know, he'll get some opportunities, maybe playing some all-star games, but a lot of poise back there, and just enough mobility you saw right there to be effective with his feet.
Carlos Becker sprinting to the top of your screen, wide side of the field. He is their lockdown man-to-man corner. First touch for Deltron Sands, trying to get the edge. He was hit and brought down. Devon Clark up from his safety position. He was the guy that made Sands go down.
Good job of containment, keeping her outside arm free defensively and stringing this thing out. And Osceola has a tremendous defense. We talk a lot about Aquinas, but this defense of Osceola, a bunch of tough kids and a lot of athletic kids too.
Aquinas will face 3rd and 4 when we begin the second quarter. A terrific start for the Raiders in search of their 8th state title, up 10-0 on Osceola. Back at the Citrus Bowl, 7A championship game between Osceola and St. Thomas Aquinas. Raiders on top 10-0 as we start the second quarter. St. Thomas Aquinas, one of several Florida teams with national recognition. Raiders currently 42nd in the latest USA Today poll. Booker T. Washington, the 4A champ. You'll see Miami Central and Armwood tomorrow in the 6A title game. IMG is an FHSA independent, not eligible to play in state championship games. And look, doing national rankings is challenging. There's no way that there are 41 teams in the U.S. that are better than St. Thomas Aquinas.
I find that hard to believe, especially defensively.
3rd down and 4 as we start the second quarter. Rizzo once again showing his mobility. Out of bounds with a first down near midfield.
Well, really a good job on the back end of Osceola's defense. Locking down receivers. Rizzo able to use his feet. But Osceola able to get some penetration here. He had a lot of time initially, but no one open on the back end. Rizzo able to get some yards and get another first down. Boy, that offensive line is big at St. Thomas Aquinas.
Scarlett through the left side. And an ankle tackle made by Trayvon Simmons as Scarlett takes it into Cowboy territory.
That big Colin Byrne. When you got big Colin Byrne headed to Syracuse pulling out in front of you, it's got to be real comfortable for Jordan Scarlett pounding it in there. And on first down, a nice gain for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Byrne and Samuel Klossman, both Syracuse commits. Richard Desir-Jones headed to Florida International. Those are the 3 guys committed thus far off this offensive line. All 5 seniors up front for the Raiders. Right back to Scarlett on 2nd down and 4. And he'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down. Scarlett now with 60 yards rushing.
Osceola really doing a good job. You know, they gave up that one long run to Scarlett. He's going to get those, but overall, I think Osceola in this first quarter, they've done a tremendous job defensively, trying to keep up, try to help their offense out.
Aquinas converted on 3rd and 4 with the Rizzo run. Raiders now face 3rd down and 2. Harris motions. This will be Deltron Sands. Ball comes out. Devon Clark, the safety, knocked it loose and jumped on it at the 43. Second turnover forced by the Cowboys defense.
How about Osceola's defense coming to play tonight? Devon Clark, physical play by this Osceola defense. Coach Nichols said, I know one thing, they're going to see a very physical football team, and Clark not only forces the fumble, but he recovers it, Austin. Again, they try to bounce it out. Watch in position. Good football tackle and recovery by Clark.
First fumble recovery of the season for Clark, 6'2", 185-pound junior. Osceola's defense has done its job thus far. Isaiah Wilson flips it, and that's incomplete from Marcus Edwards, and ruled a forward pass.
I don't know if he would have got any yards anyway. That would have been a kind of a tackle for loss, Austin.
Let's check in down on the field with Despina.
Hey guys, we got a game on our hands, and we're sure everybody is talking about it on Twitter. We want to hear your thoughts. Join the conversation. It's all happening at BHSN. Use the hashtag BHSN Finals. We'll pick our 3 favorite and put them on TV later this game. Austin?
All right, Despina, thank you very much. Nice crowd from Osceola here tonight. You got to figure a lot of other Central Florida football fans are watching at home. The mesh point blown up, and Isaiah Wilson is drilled back at the 49.
Well, if you're Osceola calling plays, you're just looking at your call sheet. You're giving everything you got. You're shooting your bullets. And this Aquinas defense just swarming you, blowing up your mesh point, like you said, right at the point of attack, and making Isaiah Wilson bounce this thing out and just eat it, tackle for a loss, and again, a 3rd down and long situation.
Damon Arnett, the South Carolina commit that made the tackle. Ray blew up the play. Osceola 0 for 4 on 3rd down. All of them have been 3rd and 6 or longer. This time it's 3rd and 13. And the Cowboys sideline calls for time.
Try to dial something up here. You know, your defense is playing so well. They've gotten you 2 turnovers. Coach Nichols is like, just hang around, not turn the ball over on offense, get a few on defense back, and maybe throw a gadget play in there somewhere to get a home run. You just never know.
Cowboys with a short trip from Kissimmee here to the Citrus Bowl. Once again, we use Google Earth to show you where Osceola High School is located. Just a 17-mile drive from Osceola's campus to the Citrus Bowl in downtown Orlando. Right off Thacker Avenue. See, the school established in 1887. At that time, it was the Kissimmee School. It wasn't called Osceola High School until 1889. So this year, celebrating its 125th anniversary.
Like doing games there. A lot of tradition and history there. The own niche community too down there. Similar to kind of Apopka as far as the way they feel about their program in their city.
O-line Isaiah Wilson up in the shotgun on 3rd and 13. To his left, Wilson nowhere near Armani Helegar.
I hope we can watch the replay here, guys. You want to see Nick Bosa accelerate to the ball. Now they've got Bosa playing defensive end. He's been playing nose, but now they got him on the edge. Watch him accelerate to the quarterback, shed his block. Now look how quickly he's on the quarterback. I mean, he covers a lot of ground, 260 pounds. And there's probably not an ounce of body fat on him. He's one of the most impressive players that I've seen on film in a long, long time. He's a J.J. Watt-like type of a football player.
Mateo Perez averaging 44 yards per punt thus far. Aquinas with 2 returners back deep. It's not a particularly good kick from Perez. Aquinas going to end up with pretty good field position. Log on to BHSN.com for the most up-to-date scores, stats, and information on all of the FHSAA finals. Bright House Sports Network is your home for high school sports. Channel 47, HD 1147, and BHSN.com. 24-yard punt by Perez. That's his worst effort thus far, and Aquinas will start from the 35.
Again, very unusual, the 2 turnovers so far for Aquinas. Typically turn the ball over like that. Osceola doing an excellent job on defense thus far.
Scarlett, the deep back in the eye, met behind the line of scrimmage. Devin LeBron was able to shed a block and meet Scarlett in the backfield. Nice play by the junior defensive tackle.
Aquinas keeps trying to come back. Watch the pulling guard and tackle. And the athleticism and leverage play of Osceola's front 4, able to get under those pulling guards and tackles and make tackles in the backfield.
LeBron's a good story. Did not play for Osceola last year. He was ineligible because of a guardianship change. Was a ball boy, filmed in the end zone. Whatever was asked of this coaching staff, he complied. And now a chance to play as a junior and having a terrific season. Play fake by Rizzo. Eludes pressure. Able to get past a couple of defensive linemen, including the aforementioned LeBron. Ruling down at the 37. Aquinas will have 3rd and 8.
Well, St. Thomas Aquinas, they like to max protect in this passing game, and when you do that, you send out fewer receivers. St. Thomas Aquinas only sends out 2 receivers, Austin, and a good job on the back end, and really trying to protect their quarterback Rizzo, and brings up a 3rd down. Nice job by Osceola.
Raiders 1 for 3 on 3rd down. And now flags come out. I thought there was early movement, but the officials let it go for a second before blowing the play dead.
I think this is going to go against Aquinas. Like you said, Austin, I think they got going a little quickly there. Burn on the right side of that tackle position. They're going to go backwards here, 5 more.
Dead ball foul. False start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Osceola certainly happy with his defense, but I'm sure wants to get a little bit more rhythm out of his offense right now.
Unit that averages just less than 45 points per game. So instead of 3rd and 8, 3rd and 13. Nice pocket this time for Rizzo. Flings it to the outside and off the hands of Jawan Harris.
Well, Harris was open on the comeback route, and Rizzo had great protection. Just threw it a little too far outside, and Osceola gets off the field again, Austin. The interception. I mean, he's only thrown 2 the whole season. He played a lot of football games. Only thrown 2 all season. To throw one early in the game, you wonder about his mental state of mind right now.
First punt for Michael Duvernois. Bobbled at the 25. Tayshawn Pinellas gets forward to the 30. For a long time in Osceola County, it was Osceola and St. Cloud. That's one of the longest running rivalries in the state. Some new high schools have opened. But the success of this Cowboy program has not changed. Osceola County has yet to catch up to the Cowboys.
There's no question. They've been dominant in that area, and even through the coaching changes, with Nichols being there for a while, a lot of success before he got there. They just breed really good football players in that area.
Cowboys back in the eye. Lead blocker for Ladarian Wilson. A tough run out to the 35. Every yard is earned against this Raiders defense.
Absolutely. I was about to say that's their best play from line of scrimmage thus far tonight. That's a win right there. That's a 5-yard gain on 1st down. One of the keys to the game is being good on early downs. This type of situation you want to have on 1st down. Now 2nd and mid to short. So Osceola defensively is inspiring Osceola's offense right now.
Wilson, 8 carries for 2 yards thus far. And that 5-yard gain was his longest run. And a flag down on the far sideline. We'll hear once again from John Elliott.
Sideline warning on Osceola.
first time a flag comes out with that. No penalty associated for the infraction. Doug Nichols, or a member of his staff, a little too close to the field. Marcus Edwards in motion. It'll be Wilson off the left side. Ran through an arm tackle by Bosa, and Osceola with a first down. It's first of the game on back-to-back runs by Wilson. Comes up hobbling a bit.
Exactly, the first down of the game. You saw a big celebration on the sideline. LaDarian Wilson bounces it. The thing about LaDarian Wilson, and they don't chart these type of statistics at the prep level necessarily, are his yards after contact. What he's able to do after contact because of his strength and power is tremendous. Great job on first and second down here by Osceola. A chink in the armor maybe they feel from this St. Thomas Aquinas defense.
Well, Darian Wilson, one of the 3 or 4 strongest guys on this team. Cuts it back. Helegar with a block, and he is tripped up after a gain of 2. James Oliphant on the backside.
You see James Oliphant out in space against LaDarian Wilson. Pretty smart to go low on Wilson and chop him down to the ground. That's a big-bodied guy. We've seen him run over a lot of people during the course of this year in Central Florida.
Oliphant giving up 40 pounds. He's 170. Wilson at 210. Oliphant, one of 4 team captains for this Raiders group. What a great honor to be named a captain at St. Thomas Aquinas. Once again, it's Edwards in motion. Bosa right away. Wilson had barely received the handoff, and he is not yet up off the turf.
I hope we could see this again. Watch the nose guard, number 97. We don't see him, but he sheds the block of the center. He's in the face of Wilson before he can even get going and eats him up, and Wilson's still down, and that is not good for Osceola. Watch number 97. Perfect technique, just an arm over. You try to go low and block Bosa, he just steps over you.
While the Osceola training staff works on LaDarian Wilson, we'll have the second quarter water break. 10-0 Aquinas here on the 7A title game. Downtown Orlando, we are at the Citrus Bowl, where nationally ranked St. Thomas Aquinas leads Osceola 10-0 in the 7A state championship game. And LaDarian Wilson left the field after his last carry. We'll give you one more look at it.
Well, watch 97, and got a kind of a knee in there late in the head upper area of his body. And I mean, Bosa is just a physically opposing guy, and he's got the talent to back it up. He's not just a big guy. I mean, the guy can run, very good technique. Coach Osceola said all he wants to do is eat, sleep, and play football and lift weights.
3rd down and 10. Isaiah Wilson wanted to go long, escaped one defender, but 2 more were right there. Christopher Hart and Brandon Boyce combine on the sack, back inside the 30 for a loss of 10.
Well, Isaiah Wilson's got nowhere to throw the football now. It's just try to run for dear life and hold on to the football. Look at the penetration. This is what you're seeing if you're Wilson back there. You got guys flying at you in all directions, and look at the size of Aquinas' football team.
6 tackles now for Duke commit Brandon Boyce, and 3 for loss. He was the leading tackler for Aquinas coming in.
I like Boyce. He just plays with such great leverage, a shorter defensive lineman, really able to penetrate and accelerate to the point of attack.
Low kick from Perez takes a huge Osceola bounce. It finds Oliphant inside the 20. He's going to reverse his field, and a terrific special teams tackle by Armani Helegar. Ball loose, but the officials immediately rule him down at the 12-yard line. How about Helegar on special teams?
Well, it didn't start out too good with the snap, kind of one-hopping back, but great coverage by the punt team of Osceola, and Helegar just shot out of the cannon, comes all the way number 4. See the strip here. Wow, he landed on his body, but he's still down. In professional football, might have been a fumble. But great coverage and hustle by Helegar.
It looked like the ball was starting to come loose.
Yeah, could have been.
As Oliphant went to the ground.
Where's that red flag to throw out there, Austin?
Rizzo with an adjustment in the backfield. Scarlett Nicholson got a hold of him. It's Dominic Lee that ends up throwing him down out of bounds. Let's go down to the field to Despina.
Hey guys, I was down here when Darian Wilson walked off. He had a trainer looking at his left leg. It looks like he got banged up when he made that first drive for the first down. Then on the second time, he got hit and decided to step out. He was walking it off. Now he's getting it taped up, and he's been jogging up and down the sidelines. So I expect him to return in this next set.
Certainly good news for Osceola. Thank you, Despina. Him getting some treatment. They carry 66 yards for Wilson's counterpart, Jordan Scarlett. He has the only touchdown of the game. TJ Kelly, the defensive end, coming in off the edge to drag down Scarlett right at the line of scrimmage.
Nice job by TJ Kelly. Good inside move, hitting his gap and meeting Scarlett in the backfield. Huge play. Another third down for St. Thomas Aquinas. This Osceola defense done a great job in the first half.
Kelly's got a bright future, just a junior, 245 pounds. Started and had 7 sacks a year ago. A lot of juniors on this Osceola team. Cowboys are going to be really tough next year, but they do lose some important seniors. Rizzo flips it out to Jawan Harris. Going to have to make a couple guys miss, and he did. Got upfield, and now Harris knocked down at the 35-yard line. Made pretty much everything happen on his own right there.
Well, this play should have been done on the perimeter, but a great job out in space. Watch miss right there, and another miss right there. Excellent athleticism by Jawan Harris, headed to FAU. Watch him out in space. 2 jukes there. Even juked Riley Nicholson, linebacker, headed to North Carolina State. Great job out in space.
Nicholson and Trayvon Simmons both whiffed. Rizzo rolling to his right, and a catch by the tight end Connor Fee, upended just beyond the 40.
Nice little boot play and a good accurate ball by Rizzo to Fee, who's typically more of a blocker. Leak him out in the boot to the right, and good looking tight end right there.
10th reception of the year for Fee. When you submit information to the FHSA, you have to identify what type of offense you are. Aquinas listed themselves as a double tight end offense with both Connor Fee and Devontae Pete at tight ends. Pete can play tight end, but he's also listed as a wide receiver. Fee, as you mentioned, more of the true tight end, typically a blocker. But a 9-yard gain on that reception makes it 2nd down and 1 from the 44. Scarlett, terrific vision as he crosses midfield and works his way to the 46.
Exactly right. Vision's the key word you used, Austin. He does a really good job with his vision. The other thing he does, the adjective, is patience. All right, very good patience in the backfield, letting those big tackles and guards pull out in front, setting up blocks, and getting good clean yards and moving the chains.
Scarlett heads to the sideline. Devontae Henry Cole stands to the right of Rizzo. Rizzo with a nice clean pocket, and he finds Devontae Pete. 4-star recruit with another 1st down reception to the 33.
Well, this Devontae Pete's a key breaker because he lines up as a tight end, but he's got receiver speed. If you give Rizzo this much time and you got Pete out in space and the mismatch with the linebacker, it's going to cause problems for defenses. And right here, see Riley Nicholson, linebacker, out in space trying to cover him. Nice job by Pete. Good looking tight end who really can run like a wide receiver.
Offers from Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Ohio State. And the potential to add 40 or 50 pounds and be a matchup nightmare in college. First carry for Devontae Henry Cole. Junior takes it for a gain of about 6.
Another good patient run by Cole. Both these backs do a good job in the backfield, and it's a good mix-up. Having Cole and then counter with Scarlett. This is a deep football team, Austin. They can only travel 60 players. They got 90. They got one player who didn't travel. He's got a commitment to Temple. He didn't even make the trip.
Disparity. Scarlett looking like a fresh runner.
Exactly right, fresh runner. You're able to bring in Cole for a couple rushes, bring Scarlett back in. It looks like Aquinas going to call timeout and talk about it.
Rocco Casulo will bring his troops to the sideline. The all-new High School Scoreboard is your source for the best high school sports stories. Every weeknight at 6:30 p.m. we'll introduce you to some of the most interesting and exciting athletes across the state. High School Scoreboard, weeknights on Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports. A big green production truck housed right outside the Citrus Bowl last weekend and this weekend for the FHSAA football finals. I believe that is Apopka. We'll see them tomorrow night in the 8A championship game. Third consecutive year that Apopka has reached the Citrus Bowl.
It's going to be fun to watch them. That's a team with 3 losses, Austin, right? I mean, Four losses, excuse me, you're right. 4 losses, but I'll tell you what, if they got hot in the last 2 months of this football season, they're outstanding. Rick Darlington does a tremendous job of that program.
Out of the timeout, Aquinas with 2nd down and 3 at the Osceola 14. Rizzo off his spot. He's shown good mobility thus far. And he scoots out of bounds where Aquinas should have 1st and goal at the 10.
Well, Rizzo's had great protection all night long. And on the back end, Osceola's done a good job. Rizzo's been able to get going with his feet and a big crackback block. Got Carlos Becker right as Rizzo was running out of bounds. Monte Pete just clean back, crackback block. You can see it from up here.
The training staff will look at Carlos Becker.
Well, Rizzo's running and then Monte Pete just catches Becker.
This looked like the mouthpiece flying out of Becker's helmet there as he got knocked by Pete. Now he's to his feet. Chance to tell you that coming up at the half, Preston Jackson, Mark Robinson down on the field. Give us their thoughts on what they've seen from Aquinas and Osceola thus far. Also have some recruiting analysis on today's top prospects. No shortage of guys to talk about in this.
He's played the next level. These players on that team.
Raiders with 5 first downs on this drive. Osceola has 1 first down the entire half. Ball right on the 10, so it is 1st and goal. Rizzo with excellent protection. Huge hole up the middle. Navigates his way into the end zone for an Aquinas touchdown.
Well, the one thing in the game plan for Osceola was not to account for the running ability of Jake Rizzo, dropping everybody in coverage in the passing game and kind of not believing that Rizzo could do what he can do with his feet, but he's done it tonight, rushing the football. Again, this is pass all the way, but everyone's dropped off into coverage, and Rizzo said, I've had success rushing the football. I'm going to do it again and walk in.
Cicero with the PAT, 17-0 Aquinas. And how about Rizzo? 45 yards rushing all season coming into this game and 33 tonight, including a 10-yard touchdown.
Yeah, you study the film, you say, hey, this guy's not a guy that's going to take off and run, but thus far tonight, committing everyone in coverage has left Rizzo free to rush the football. He's been effective tonight.
This Aquinas program routinely churns out high major prospects that go all over the country. Here's a look at where some of those guys have gone. You see already 9 Division I commits in this year's class. Send players to 25 different states. You see that one dot out in California. Chandler Durrell started his college football career at Stanford, now at Vanderbilt. This has a chance to be the biggest group of FBS signees that Aquinas has ever put out, and that says a lot.
It does, and right next to us, where the scouts sit. Yeah. So far, it's been the most I've seen over these past 2 weekends.
This is a short kickoff, hits the ground. Etuan Black alertly picks it up and now makes his way down the far sideline. Something for the Cowboy faithful to cheer about as Black takes it to the 43.
Well, let's hope we see for Osceola's case, Ladarian Wilson back in this football game after leaving it, getting dinged up. A little miscommunication on this kickoff return. Etuan gets it, and boy, for a second there, he thought he was going to take off and maybe score, but the speed of Aquinas able to run him down.
24-yard return. Boy, that ball takes a funny bounce, and Aquinas could have recovered it, and we could be looking at 24-0 going to the half. That's alert play by Etuan Black. Motion by Isaiah Brown. Isaiah Wilson looking to throw, and no chance. Wyatt Ray and Brandon Boyce were both there right away as Wilson got his head around to look down the field.
Well, pass protection and run blocking, 2 different things. 90% run. Now you're asking to pass protect against arguably the best pass rush in the nation. Tough situation at the end of the half here. Wyatt Ray is just outstanding. Really like Wyatt Ray.
11-yard loss and now minus 19 yards of offense for Osceola in the first half. This defense from St. Thomas Aquinas, better than advertised. Despina down on the field with Raiders coach Rocco Casula.
Hey, Coach, obviously going to be pretty happy with your defense right now, but very uncharacteristic with your offense. 2 turnovers. Talk about what that was like.
In this type of game, that cannot happen. We got to go in there and make some adjustments. Can't put the ball on the ground, can't turn the ball over, but we got to get in there and correct it.
Halfway there to a state championship for your team, that where this is expected for these guys. What can we see you come out with in the second half as far as adjustments?
We got to play harder, and we're going to play harder.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of the way. Austin?
All right, thank you, Despina, and our thanks to Coach Casula for sharing some thoughts. Sounds like a coach who's trailing 17-0 at half in a state title game, but in reality, it's Aquinas with a lead, 17-0. Stay tuned. On the other side of the break. Preston Jackson, Mark Robinson with a high school halftime report. Aquinas up.
He wants to play with or not play with at all, that's left up on his shoulders. During the half, we also picked out some tweets and we looked at the conversation that everybody's talking about on Twitter. Mambo Rambo, let's throw these up. He says, you can't spell states without STA. Then 2014 Forest Hills Drive, he said, went to Liberty and hated Osceola, but I need y'all to win for Osceola County. Then Nick DePietro. Nick Bosa is unstoppable. He's an unstoppable force. And Nick DePietro is correct, Austin.
No doubt. Bosa, who we featured in the open, an outstanding junior defensive lineman, has wreaked havoc on Osceola's front, as has the entire Aquinas defensive line. Raiders won the toss and deferred, so St. Thomas Aquinas will receive the third quarter kickoff.
Well, Despina made a note after talking to Coach Nichols about what do you do offensively with only minus 19 yards of offense, and be interested to see them start to hit the perimeter with some of their speed backs that we haven't really heard from tonight. And the health of Ladarian Wilson, definitely a factor. You saw him at halftime holding that left knee area, so it makes sense to start trying to hit the edges with speed. Edwards and company, and Black and Brown, those 4 horsemen get those guys going too, Austin.
He dealt with cramps a lot early in the season. Took him out of a couple of games. Didn't play against Harmony hardly at all because he was hurt. But he's dealt with some injury issues as the season has gone along. But he's a durable guy. 31 carries a week ago in the state semifinals against Niceville. You know he wants to get back out there. Aquinas to receive the opening kickoff. And this is Oliphant. Tripped up just beyond the 25. Well, St. Thomas Aquinas just behind Bowles in terms of excellence with their football program. Bowles with more state titles, 11-7. But as you see, most playoff victories and most consecutive playoff berths go to Aquinas.
It's just been excellence there for many, many years. And so many players in the NFL that went to Aquinas, and they all come back. You know, they all come back. And as a player on the current team, when you have former NFL players that played in that program, sat in that chair in the film room, wore that jersey, gives you a lot of confidence.
7 active players in the NFL. The most notable not active right now, but Michael Irvin, graduate of St. Thomas Aquinas. Raiders start from the 26, and Jake Rizzo takes a timeout. Well, you rarely see that, and Rocco Casulo not pleased.
Yeah, and you have the right personnel in there. It looks like they want Connor Fee out there and not tight end Pete out there. So
that reaction from Casulo just goes to show you the level of excellence that is expected from both players and coaches in this program. It'd be easy to say, you know, it's all right. We're up 17-0. No big deal. No, not acceptable.
Not acceptable, and you know, you demand excellence there. It's expected. You know, go to school there to play football and go to school, get your education. And there are expectations if you're going to be participating on this football team in this program.
Probably spend a lot of halftime figuring out what you want to run on your first play when you know you're going to get the kickoff, and then you come out with the wrong personnel and have to take a timeout.
Right.
Awkward beginning to the third quarter here in the 7A title game. Rizzo with a play action fake. Gonna try and run from behind. Hit by Nicholson. The ball comes out. It's recovered by Samuel Klossman. What a shot Rizzo took from the Osceola middle line.
Osceola does a great job on the back end and coverage. That's why Rizzo's had nowhere to throw the ball. But the second note at halftime was that when that quarterback runs, get some hats on him, and Riley Nicholson, who's headed to NC State, does exactly that. Get a good clean hit on that quarterback. Don't let him rush the football. And nearly a turnover for Osceola, but a devastating hit on Rizzo.
Started with T.J. Kelly pursuing from the backside, and then Nicholson with a free shot. Those are the loss of 2. Second down and 12. Deltron Sands. Fumble in the first half. That time, 2 hands around the football to set up third down and about 2.
Physical football team. It's Osceola defense, and they know their defense is struggling. I mean, their offense is struggling for Osceola. Defensively, their mindset is get the ball back for their offense any way possible.
Sands with 2 touchdowns a week ago in the state semifinal win over Eastlake and 68 rushing yards. Pete splits out wide as a receiver on 3rd and 2. Back to Sands. Bridgewater from behind makes the tackle.
I think he's short.
It's going to depend on the spot. One official, based on the mark, would have enough for the first down, and there's the signal from John Elliott. It is enough to move the chains.
Yeah, really close there. Just barely got the mark. From up here, will look like maybe at least a measurement, but that'll be a first down for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Sands now shifts to the fullback spot in front of Jordan Scarlett. 3 consecutive run plays for Aquinas. Scarlett bouncing off defenders and running through tackles into Osceola territory to the 35.
That's impressive, Austin. You talked about vision earlier when you described Scarlett and the patience. Watch this run, yards after contact, pulling guard and tackle, yards after contact, right there. And then getting north and south, breaking another tackle. Strong, strong run from Scarlett.
28-yard run by the senior committed to Miami, and now over 100 yards tonight on just 12 carries. Right back to Scarlett. Waits for his blockers to get downfield and stumbles forward for about 2. Scarlett, a 4-star recruit. Rivals ranks him as the 15th best running back in the country. And a state title at University School as a sophomore, and transferred to Aquinas after the 2013 season.
They really like that play, pulling that guard and tackle to the left and run Scarlett behind it. It's been successful for Aquinas tonight.
Back to Sands on 2nd down and 8. Had to cut it back inside. Evan LeBron, defensive tackle at the bottom of the pile, forced the cut. And the Raiders will have 3rd and 6.
Osceola's done a really good job in the passing game defensively on their back end. I mean, Rizzo's had time to throw the ball, but really locked down coverage out of that secondary of Osceola.
Right on the edge of field goal range for Aquinas. Raiders 3 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Need 6 here. Rizzo going to throw for it. It's a screen. Turning it inside. Samuel Bruce was hit by one of his own men, then broke it outside. Tiptoeing down the sideline. And they'll rule him out of bounds inside the 5.
It's kind of an interesting play. Slip screen. Run into your own guy and then run down to the 1-yard line. Quick throw out to the perimeter, get the ball to the athlete in space with a lineman out in front, run into your own lineman, and then get an extra block downfield, and you just step out of bounds right there at the 5-yard line.
Samuel Klossman, who nearly took down his own wide receiver. A gain of 26, and now 1st and goal. It's Devontae Henry Cole in there at tailback. Tried to cut it outside. That was a poor decision. Devon Clark, who's got a forced fumble and a fumble recovery, gets a tackle for loss.
Clark does a good job. You can see how long his arms are, Austin. He plays with good leverage. He uses his hands well to shed blocks. He might not be the heaviest guy, but those long arms give him leverage and create space from him and the opposing blocker, able to shed it, make a tackle for a loss.
Clark actually played some wide receiver in the spring. He's got good hands. Might be a wide receiver at some other schools, but given how infrequently Osceola throws the ball, best fit on defense. 2nd down and goal. Rizzo with a play-action fake. All kinds of time over the top. What a grab in the back of the end zone. Devontae Pete for an Aquinas touchdown.
Well, Devontae Pete's that hybrid tight end and player, but 6'5". Watch him go down middle field and ask for the ball right there. Give it to me, Rizzo. And now throw the ball up so your 6'5" receiver can go high point the ball and get it. Well-placed ball by Rizzo and good concentration by Pete.
13 of those 27 touchdown passes for Rizzo have come in the postseason. Aquinas takes the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and goes 73 yards for a touchdown.
Well, Pete creates havoc for defenses because you treat him as a tight end, but he's really a receiver. He gets wide open early. Look at that touch pass in the back of the end zone. And the good concentration by Pete. At 6'5", you'd love that, being quarterback friendly with that size. He just sneaks back there, gets the ball a little late, but he even almost got 2 feet in. Great concentration by Pete.
What's at stake in this matchup tonight? Aquinas looking for state title number 8. That would put them 2nd alone behind Jacksonville Bulls. Osceola will take a huge comeback for the Cowboys to duplicate that 1998 state title.
I mean, this Aquinas team, talked about in the open, 22 starters, right? That play. 21 are seniors, and then you got Bosa as a junior, who if they're allowed to declare early, he'd probably declare early, right? But they're going to replace all those starters, this Aquinas team. And they'll probably reload a bunch more Division I prospects next year as well.
LaPorte's kickoff taken at the 10 by Etwan Black and tripped up at the 15. Another good special teams tackle, Nolan Rodriguez, backup linebacker.
Nolan Rodriguez, 5'5", 175. How about that? Nice job by that young man.
He's getting a lot of love over there on the sideline. Might be the most dramatic reaction we've seen after any play tonight.
Well, let's see what kind of adjustments were made offensively by Osceola.
Darian Wilson is out there as the Cowboys start their opening possession. Isaiah Brown got maybe a yard.
Well, Despina talked about it. Coach Nichols said they're going to try to hit the perimeter that time. Try to get the jet sweep type play with Brown. Aquinas does a good job of making him cut it back inside into the teeth of the defense.
No let up from the Aquinas fans. Hoping their team can pour it on. Etwan Black on a speed sweep. Nowhere to run. Leading tackler Brandon Boyce. Amazing what kind of night he's having.
Yeah, Brandon Boyce just wreaks havoc again. A leverage player listed at 6 feet, maybe about 5'11", plays tremendously low to the ground, shoulder pad level down, and hits gaps so quickly. You see him flying to the screen, shed blocks, and sure tackler with tackles in the backfield. Committed to Duke.
Another one of those university school transfers. 4 of them left university school to come to Aquinas. 3rd down and 13. Ladarian Wilson got back 2 of the lost yards. It's Julian McLeod, one of the backups who'd be a starter on pretty much any other team in the entire state.
Well, Julian McLeod's a very good football player. He's a guy that gets overlooked because of the other Division I talent there, but he's as good as anybody in the state as well.
Be the 6th punt of the night for Mateo Perez. 2 returners back for Aquinas, Oliphant and Jawan Harris. Perez keeps it on the Osceola sideline as we go down to the field in Despina.
Yeah, Austin, you guys have been calling this guy's name all night long on the defensive end for St. Thomas Aquinas, and Nick Bosa. He certainly is the team's leading tackler. He's only a junior on this team that starts 21 seniors. He's nationally ranked, and Coach Osceola said in our pre-meeting that there's no better defensive player in the state and that he's ready for college right now. Bosa leads the team in tackles for losses, and he simply eats, lifts weights, and plays football. He's a top 20 national recruit for his class, but stays quiet and focused. He doesn't want to talk about what his future is like. It's all about right now and winning another state title, his last being in 2012, his freshman year, alongside his brother Joey, who is up at Ohio State right now.
All right, Despina, thank you very much. We'll be back to the Citrus Bowl after this short timeout. Driving around Lake Eola in downtown Orlando. A new fountain looks beautiful at night. In the corner of Orange and Central. Familiar star that hangs over one of the most busy streets in downtown Orlando. And here at the Citrus Bowl, lots of fans bundled up for tonight's 7A title game. And flags come down before Aquinas runs the first play of their second drive, an indication that this could be against Osceola.
I wonder if it's that sideline warning come back.
Sideline warning on Osceola. That's their second warning, which results in a 5-yard penalty.
A wry smile there from Doug Nichols. You heard Despina tell you the story about Joey Bosa, older brother of Nick in tonight's game. This photo on Instagram was taken at last night's College Football Award Show, which was here in Orlando. Bosa on the left, Urban Meyer, head coach of the Buckeyes, on the right. You can see pretty popular, more than 3,500 likes as of a few hours ago. On first down and 5, inside give to Scarlett. He continues to break tackles at the line of scrimmage. You wouldn't describe him as ultra fast. He's not one of those speed backs, but savvy enough to just sidestep and slip away from defenders.
He's an intelligent runner with great vision, and he does have tremendous speed. He's just so fluid. It doesn't look like he's running that fast, but yards after contact, those slight, subtle moves help him get extra yards, Austin. He looks like a player down on the field.
As Aquinas tends to the injured player, we take you back to 2012 state championship game here at the Citrus Bowl between St. Thomas Aquinas and Tallahassee Lincoln. Raiders looking for their 7th state title. Didn't get off to a very good start. John Burt for Tallahassee Lincoln took the opening kickoff and went 95 yards for a touchdown, but Aquinas responded with 21 unanswered points, all coming from John O'Corn. There's an 80-yard strike to Corey Holmes. Then it was a 71-yard pass to Mark Barr. O'Corn goes for 339 yards, a pair of scores. He also rushed for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aquinas beats Lincoln 41-25. And I know you do color for UCF radio. You've had a chance to see O'Corn, now the quarterback at Houston.
Yeah, O'Corn started last year as a true freshman and really had an outstanding year. Kind of was hampered by some injuries this year and pretty much lost his job. They went to more of a Wildcat system in Houston, but O'Corn had a tremendous freshman year, and you hate to see this injury on the field. He's getting up now. Klossman's getting up. That's a good thing.
6'5", 300-pound senior. 2 offensive linemen for Aquinas committed to Syracuse. Brother is Colin Byrne. And gingerly, he will make his way across the field to the Raiders sideline. Looked like a couple of players were going to come over and help him out. You could see him calling for assistance.
Well, I hope he's all right there. It's good to see him walking off, though.
So the starting left guard for Aquinas heads to the sideline as the Raiders offense gets ready for 1st and 10. Scarlett now up to 124 yards. This is a screen to Deltron Sands. Nice pursuit from the backside by T.J. Kelly. More athletic than he looks from that defensive end position.
Oh, absolutely. He can run sideline to sideline. Sometimes you can tell by their jersey number. You know, got a guy number 22. Maybe he started out as a runner. Then he moved him to defensive side of the ball, but he does run well.
Aquinas took the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter, drove it 73 yards. Connection between Rizzo and Devontae Pete made it 24-0. And the Raiders on the move once again here as we go under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Sands the lone back, stretch play to the right. Tackled at the 20. It's Dominic Lee from his safety position, and Demetrius Daniel, 330-pound senior, with pursuit down the field.
Yeah, that's that wide stretch play. Rizzo's really got to get on his horse to get that ball out to Sands. It looks to me that St. Thomas Aquinas offensively, they don't run a whole lot of different plays. They try to do what they do and do it really well, and then play really good defense behind it. It's been kind of the formula of success for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Running the ball behind that huge offensive line has yielded good results here tonight. Pete flexes out as a receiver. Rizzo, a quick screen to Jawan Harris. Nice job defending that by Osceola. Becker and Trayvon Simmons combined on the tackle. Found it interesting talking to Rocco Casulo earlier this week. We asked him about his offensive line. They average 6'5", 291 pounds up front. Asked if this group was bigger than most or if this was a rarity. And he said, well, you know, guys are big. Everyone has big offensive lines now. I'm not sure he has an understanding of just how big his group is. This is a special offensive line.
And look at them. I mean, they're not just big. They look the part, too. I mean, they're in good shape. I mean, they're not just big guys. These are guys that have really worked hard on their bodies in the weight room.
Scarlett forced wide. And right there was Shavai Gordon. It took Demetrius Daniel coming. Ball came out at the end of the play. The officials rule him down. Dominic Lee recovered it for Osceola. That is a break for Aquinas, and Scott Spencer is incensed on the Osceola sideline.
Well, I don't know if the official blew this thing dead because of forward progress, but this ball does come out. Oh, it hits the ground. Good call by the official. Excellent call by the official.
When we watched it live, I thought it was a fumble.
Yeah, from up here.
Clearly, you can see on that replay that the elbow hit the ground when he had full possession.
Great job by our end zone operator, camera work there. Good job by the official and our operator.
That sets up 3rd down and 8. Rizzo's had good protection all night. That's the case again here as he slings it toward the end zone. Connor Fee.
This is what these two tight ends are listed as ends, but they're tight ends. They create mismatches because they both run like receivers. Now you get Fee locked in on Clark. He's a linebacker type guy, safety type. You get him one-on-one coverage, turns into a mismatch, and really a nicely thrown ball by Jake Rizzo.
Tight spiral off the right arm of Jake Rizzo. Second touchdown pass of the 3rd quarter. Aquinas tacks on the PAT to make it 31-0. One more look at the 3rd catch of the postseason for Connor Fee.
Well, it starts with protection. I mean, Jake Rizzo, look how comfortable Rizzo is. When you give Rizzo that much time, he can spin the ball properly. And Fee going against the safety, Fee wins the battle.
It has been a dominating postseason run for St. Thomas Aquinas. Giving up just 20 points in the entire postseason and winning by an average of 43 points per game. And they're being compared to the best of the best. Those are the other teams that made the large classification finals this weekend.
It just shows the excellence of this Aquinas football team. And if you're Osceola, I mean, this is just new, unfound territory right now. And it's just been tough going to get a yard, period, for Osceola offensively tonight.
Rizzo beaten out as the starting quarterback a year ago by a player who transferred in, waited his turn as so many good quarterbacks have at Aquinas.
A yard, period, for Osceola offensively tonight.
Rizzo beaten out as the starting quarterback a year ago by a player who transferred in, waited his turn as so many good quarterbacks have at Aquinas. Last 5 QBs for the Raiders have all gone on to play college football. You figure that is definitely going to be the case with Rizzo. Marcus Edwards on the return looking for space. And there is no room to run against the Raiders coverage unit. Rule him out at the 10-yard line. For the first time ever, high school football state champions will compete against each other in a postseason bowl game. Teams from Florida, Utah, and Washington will go at it in a one-day 3-game event at Florida Atlantic University on Saturday, December 27th. The games will be televised nationally on ESPNU at noon, 4, and 8 p.m. For more information, you can go to BurgerKingBowl.com. Osceola negative 19 yards at the half. They continue to go backward. This drive starts from the 9. Marcus Edwards. decided to cut it to the outside. Probably would have been better served to keep going up the field. It'll result in a gain of 2.
Edwards has great speed. We've seen some games from him where he gets to the perimeter and he is absolutely gone. And Coach Nichols trying to hit the edges now with his other 3 backs. It kind of shows Darren Wilson's probably hurting pretty good from that knee. Just haven't seen him carry the ball yet this half.
Edwards moved from Chicago during the summer. 2 of his first 4 carries went for touchdowns. And his older brother, Capri Bibbs, is a running back on the Denver Broncos practice squad of college football at Colorado State. Darian Wilson, ball came out. It's loose at the 14, and it's recovered by Aquinas. Raiders once again blow up the mesh point of an Osceola option play. And a turnover.
Well, it all starts up front. You see Bosa right there. He's at the nose guard position again. He started out the half at nose. He's typically a defensive end, but put him at nose to blow up the point of attack. They put 2 bodies on him, and LaDarian Wilson on his first carry of this half. Before he even gets the ball, the mesh point's blown up, as you said, Austin, and the ball comes out. I mean, it's just tough going in the middle there. We got big number 97 plugging up space in the middle.
Osceola looking for state title number 8 for Aquinas. They start from the 14. And toward the sideline, it's carry for Devontae Henry Cole. They'll rule him out at the 9. Going back to Bosa. What a pedigree for his football. Older brother Joey, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. His dad John was a first-round draft pick by the Dolphins. Had an uncle that was a captain at Ohio State. This guy was bred to be a big-time football player.
He may be the best one of the family. I mean, that's saying a lot, but he could be. I mean, I haven't seen someone, especially as a junior, do what he does on the football field at this level.
Well, Joey's watching. That was Pat O'Hara that said that. I don't want any part of that.
Joey might agree. Who knows?
Rizzo sidesteps a defender on 2nd down and 5. Flings that one up and just out of the corner of the end zone. Sam Bruce was there, but over his head was Stephon Brown racing toward the pylon.
Bosa, I mean, he played on this football team as a 14-year-old freshman for Aquinas. I mean, in person, he's just really developed, you know, as a human being. I mean, physically, it's imposing, and he backs it up with the skill set on the field. You don't see that combination a whole lot at this level.
Last 2 touchdowns for Aquinas have come on 3rd down plays. Raiders need 5. Rizzo drops the ball, picks it up, and then stumbles to the 10. We'll see if Rocco Casulo opts to go for it or attempt a short field goal.
Yeah, Rizzo just dropped the ball. It wasn't a bad snap. I think Rizzo's trying to catch and throw quickly. Sometimes in the shotgun, he's trying to catch and get rid of the ball, and the ball just popped out of his hands.
For the 2nd time tonight, we'll see Zach Cicero, but they're not going to get this field goal off before the end of the 3rd quarter. Aquinas has tacked on 2 more touchdowns here in the 3rd period, both off the arm of Jake Rizzo. 31-0 after 3 in the 7A title game. A lot to cheer about for the girls from St. Thomas Aquinas tonight. Raiders with a 31-0 lead as we start the 4th quarter. St. Thomas Aquinas, nationally recognized program, not afraid to go outside of Florida to take on quality opponents. Started in 2008 when they went up to Cincinnati and faced Elder. Upper Arlington, another game in Ohio in 2009. Skyline, that was a game that was actually played at Cowboy Stadium in 2010. Raiders won it 31-3. Prattville in Alabama. In 2012, they played Don Bosco Prep at home and back on the road to John Curtis in Louisiana in 2013. And then this year, their only loss of the season, a game that was played at the U.S. Military Academy against Don Bosco Prep. During the quarter break, Aquinas changing its mind. They had the field goal team out there. Rocco Casulo Brought that group to the sideline. Raiders will opt to go for it on 4th and 7. Rizzo rolling to his right, going to throw it back, and it's intercepted. Low throw right into the arms of C.J. Bridgewater.
Wow, this could have easily gone the other way. Rizzo with a play action, roll to right, and blindly throwing the screen back to the left, and just assumes his receiver will be there, but he's not. An interception that easily could have gone the other way.
I love the reaction from Deltron Sands. He makes the tackle. You didn't see it there, but it's something like, what are you doing? 2 interceptions through 14 games for Jake Rizzo. He's thrown a pair tonight. Aquinas uncharacteristically with 3 turnovers. Marcus Edwards turning it upfield. Nice gain out to the 27. Edwards has been the most productive ball carrier for the Cowboys offense tonight. 3 carries, 15 yards.
He has tremendous speed, and that's a really great cut. Good ball security to finish that play. And he, like you said, Austin, he's the guy that came in Chicago and walked on campus to Coach Nichols and said, hey, Coach, I want to play some football. He didn't know what he was getting, but he sure was happy. He got him on the field. That talent.
Gives Osceola 3 great junior backs. Etwan Black's a senior. They'll certainly miss him. And this is Black running wide right now. Nice to the sideline to get a first down. That's just the 2nd first down of the game for Osceola. Black's going to graduate. You'll have Ladarian Wilson, Isaiah Brown, and Marcus Edwards all back next year, along with the quarterback Isaiah Wilson.
And all 5 offensive linemen. I mean, this football team, easily see them back here a year from now, taking another shot at this thing.
Osceola will be better on offense next year than they are now. Defensively, they're going to take a hit. All 3 linebackers graduate. That's a really good unit led by Riley Nichols. So I have to find some linebackers. After just the 2nd first down, it looked like a busted play. Isaiah Wilson tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, some miscommunication there in the backfield. This flex bone attack, wing T concept offense. Coach Nichols. You know, Wilson, like you said, he's managed this thing pretty well. And moved into the quarterback position to start out the year, and they'd like to see him continue to improve. We'll have another year to come back and lead this football team.
Started as a freshman at Liberty 2 years ago. Expectations were different. They don't count on him to make a lot of plays, just kind of manage the offense. His flags come down.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
Confidence has been an issue at times for Wilson. You got to figure with an entire offseason, Osceola will go to some 7-on-7. That's become real prevalent during the summer and really aided in the development of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you'll see some huge strides by Isaiah Wilson moving forward into spring and next year.
Counter to Etwan Black. Coughed the ball up. Looked like he was able to get it back. That ball was up for grabs as it popped out of the arms of Black. Julian McLeod ends up at the bottom of the pile, but wants to give it back to Osceola.
Yeah, that underneath inside handoff. There's some green space in there, but Black's not able to kind of hit it, and that ball comes loose. Fortunate to get it back.
Every 3rd down for Osceola has been 6 yards or longer. And 6 of the 8, 10 yards or longer as more laundry comes down.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay 3rd down.
It's kind of unusual. 2 of the last 3 plays have had false starts from different offensive linemen. And again, when you're struggling offensively to get yards, and this is unfamiliar territory, being shut out 31-0 here. Yeah, guys get going, moving too quickly.
Wilson wants to throw on 3rd and 17. Flings it toward the sideline, about 5 yards away from Ladarian Wilson. So Osceola will try Mateo Perez back onto the field. Recruiting Central has all the latest buzz from the recruiting world with analysis from experts across the state. Whose stock is rising? How does a commitment impact your favorite college team? Plus, interact with us on social media as we answer your tweets. It's Recruiting Central, Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. on Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports. It has been all St. Thomas Aquinas in the 7A title game tonight. Osceola's defense has done a pretty nice job, all things considered. They forced 3 turnovers. Very low kick by Perez. Taking Osceola hot and be downed at the 39. Once again down on the field, here's Despina.
Hey, Austin. Head coach Rocco Castillo here for St. Thomas. He told us in that pre-production meeting that coaching has been in his blood. He actually grew up on the sidelines acting as a ball boy for his father, Bob, who coached college football for 17 years, most of that time at Syracuse. So that's where he got his first introduction to coaching. His dad also went off to the pros and started off with Oakland. And Rocco says the biggest takeaway from his dad's coaching experience has certainly been adapting his open door policy, listening to players, coaches, staff members, making sure everybody is on the same page and has bought in. He also mentioned 2 of his favorite memories was certainly going to 2 Super Bowls, one with the Raiders and one with the Seahawks. Austin?
All right, Despina, thanks very much. Deltron Sands gets a couple. His brother Jamie is a head coach at West Hill High School. That's in Syracuse, New York. Despina mentioned the 2 Super Bowls. Bob Castillo worked for 4 different NFL teams. He was a special teams coordinator when the Raiders and Seahawks went to the Super Bowl. So there is an extra emphasis in that facet of the game at Aquinas.
I think he said sometimes he gives his special teams coordinator plenty of time. Sometimes he uses too much time. I know as a head coach sometimes like, take your time. You look at your watch, you're like, not that much time. We need to get back to offense and defense.
Sands pushes the pile forward to the 44. 3rd down and 5. Mentioned that open door policy. He said his dad taught him, make sure you take ideas from everyone. Don't shut anybody down. And George Smith, another one of his mentors, longtime coach at Aquinas, we mentioned 361 wins. He had an open door policy, and Castillo has continued that tradition.
Yeah, I think you have to, especially at this level, dealing with young people. There's a lot more else going on in their lives than just football.
Another 3rd down for the Raiders. Rizzo sacked back at the 34. Joey Broughton, backup defensive end. As Rizzo held the ball just a little bit too long.
It's a nice job by Broughton of keep working, because good protection here. Rizzo should get rid of this ball, but Broughton just keeps working from the left side and able to get a hold of that knee and shoelace and get Rizzo down for a sack.
Cowboys defense forces a punt. To credit this Osceola group, despite the score, they are continuing to play with maximum effort. This defense has done a nice job against an Aquinas offense with a ton of Division I talent. That punt nearly blocked. No flag comes in as there was some contact on Duvernois. Return up to the 25 by Tayshawn Pinellas. 46-yard punt. Definitely some contact on Duvernois, but no flag comes out from John Elliott.
It's one of those rare times where you didn't get a flop. Normally those guys go to the ground and act like they're hurt, like the soccer player. But a little contact there, he stays on his feet. No foul.
With 6:43 to go, mandatory water break timeout in the 4th quarter. Fans from Aquinas close to celebrating the 8th state championship for the Raiders. That is what's on the line here, the 7A championship trophy. state football title, the most coveted prize in Florida high school sports. You see the medals this year provided by Champion. That's a substantial piece of hardware that you get to wear around your neck.
How about that? Coach Osceola said we play for gold. We're Raiders. There's some gold there. They're going to be wearing around their neck tonight.
Antoine Black gets about 3. We mentioned this in the open, but we're pitting again. St. Thomas Aquinas is a senior-heavy team. 21 senior starters tonight for the Raiders. Osceola with 12 juniors. We've talked about how bright the future looks for the Cowboys.
Yeah, they will be back. And like you said, they need to replace some linebackers. That's a strength of their defense, but some great players coming back to this Osceola football team.
Throw from Isaiah Wilson through the hands of Armani Heligar. Heligar starting wide receiver, and that incompletion gives me a chance to point out the long hair on Armani Heligar that he has not cut since 5th grade. He told me earlier this week he wouldn't cut it for $1 million. Then he thought about it for a second. Said, you know, actually I would cut it. I'd just get a really expensive wig that looked like I hadn't cut it.
That is quite, look at that. Got a lot going on there. Him and Troy Polamalu can compete.
Nearly midway through the 4th, and Osceola with 3rd down and 7. 2 first downs offensively for the Cowboys tonight. Antoine Black trying to twist his way for a 3rd. He'll be brought down 3 yards shy.
Bring on the punt unit again for Osceola. How about the fireworks? Stadium looks beautiful though. I mean, they've done a great job here. Oh, they're fake punt.
Into the Aquinas territory goes Antoine Black. We heard from Doug Nichols that they had a fake punt that was ready to go for this game. He hoped they were going to get a chance to use it, and it works to perfection.
They snuck Black on the field all the way there by the sideline. And hit him over there, and no one paid attention, and see him at the way at the top of your screen, right on the sideline, kind of blending in with those players on the sideline, and they're able to get a first down.
A 31-yard gain. By far Osceola's best play of the night. Cowboys were in danger of being held to the lowest total yards in a state championship game ever. That play is probably going to erase that chance. Perhaps a chance to score. Yashua Dockery has come into the fullback spot. 13 carries, 154 yards for 2 touchdowns coming in. No gain there. Bright House Networks is offering TV everywhere with our latest app, BHTV. Bright House Networks customers are able to view live stream television from up to 20 channels outside the home, including Bay News 9, News 13, and Bright House Sports Network.
App all the time in the house because my wife's watching her show and I got to watch my football. We're still in the same room. I use that app all the time. It's excellent.
Antoine Black smothered back at the, including Bay News 9, News 13, and Bright House Sports Network. The app is available for iPads, iPhones, Android devices, and Kindle Fire HDs.
I use that app all the time in the house because my wife's watching her show and I got to watch my football. We're still in the same room. I use that app all the time. It's excellent.
Antoine Black smothered back at the 42, and Doug Nichols will spend a timeout for Osceola after a 5-yard loss. Now you can do that outside the house too. You're on the road with UCF,
yeah.
Tune on Bright House Sports Network.
I've done that too. Be on the road and catch you streaming. I'm on the road with UCF.
That sign in the Aquinas crowd, we want Bama. It's my pick for best sign of the state finals so far. Even in the appropriate crimson red color. There's a lot of tradition with every athletic program at St. Thomas Aquinas. When they came up here in 2012, 22 busloads of fans followed them up from Fort Lauderdale. We don't have a count on what tonight is, but there's a great showing for Aquinas.
There really is. A lot of support.
Isaiah Brown motions on 3rd down and 15. Dockery got maybe a yard. Don't think that, well, as flags come in, Armani Heligar. Someone may have made a comment about his hair, prompting that response.
Oh, Heligar Heligar hits Christopher Hart real late here in the back, number 10. And Hart did not like that at all and went after. So some frustration by Osceola.
One of the interesting things about doing games here at the Citrus Bowl is that unlike at a regular high school game, as soon as something like that happens, the attention of the fans immediately turns toward the big video board. Everybody gets a chance to see it, and then they all inevitably point, yeah, look.
Exactly.
Look.
And the video board's beautiful. They've done a great job in this renovation, and the video board's unbelievable. Now that's, if you're familiar with the Citrus Bowl, that's on the opposite end as the old
Dead ball foul. Personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Play results in a first down.
Always the retaliator.
That's unfortunate for Christopher Hart. And that play is going to move Osceola to the 25-yard line. Osceola, or St. Thomas Aquinas rather, 6 shutouts this season. That's a school record. And when the defense produces a shutout, the coaches buy donuts. So there's a lot of pressure on the backups in these blowout games for Aquinas to not allow the opponent to score. And the starters have not been pleased when the backups have allowed points. They want donuts.
They want donuts. I don't blame them. They've got a few backups in there. Bosa's out of the game. Got a new linebacking core there on the inside. Seeing some fresh bodies in there. And for Osceola, they just don't want to get shut out, Austin.
Last time that happened more than 3 years ago, September of 2011, when Osceola lost 10-0 to Palm Bay. Rocco Casulo not pleased with the way things are going right now.
It's all about the donuts. No, but you want to finish the right way. You know, you don't want to retaliate from a late hit. You don't want to get penalties. You still want to execute and maintain that excellence regardless of what the situation is. Yes, it's 31-0. When you run a program like Coach Casulo does, it's to maintain that integrity, that intensity, and do it the right way.
Got to figure this defense is going to go down as one of the best in Florida football history. They've only given up 77 points all year. You go back to the year Aquinas won a national title in 2008. They only give up 110. 2010 state title team allowed 104. This is going to be less than that. Less than 100 points for the entire season against a quality schedule. They're not playing cupcakes in South Florida.
And it all starts up front for that defense. I mean, when you have a pass rush and a rush defense within that box, like Aquinas has, it's just really difficult on opposing offenses.
1st and 10 from the 25. And Isaiah Brown motions into the backfield. And he'll carry it for a yard.
He's not even on our roster. But that was a nice tackle. They must have changed jerseys.
That's the depth of Aquinas.
Right.
At the half, they can go into the stands and start pulling people out.
Look at Bosa. I mean, doesn't he look like an NFL player? I mean, unbelievable.
Marcus Edwards driving forward. A flag is down. Multiple flags are down. That run by Edwards was down to the 9. It was a gain of 15 yards depending on the marker, and this is coming back.
I'm surprised they didn't blow this dead, Austin, because LaDarian Wilson He got going really early, and they let the play go.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Over on that Osceola sideline, Doug Nichols talking to Isaiah Wilson. Ty Enser in the background, former head coach at Apopka. And the big guy, Mike Braun, he's the offensive line coach. His son Parker, the starting left tackle. Braun's done a terrific job with this offensive line.
Absolutely.
Mike and his wife both went to West Point. And their older son, Trey, starts at Georgia Tech. Wilson to throw on 2nd and 13. Fade route for Heligar, and this is going to be intercepted at the 7. Return is on for Aquinas, tackled at the 44-yard line. It's Frank Coppett, backup defensive back, and his 4th interception of the year.
Well, this ball really got away from Isaiah Wilson. Just didn't come off his hand the way he wanted it to, and it really fluttered, underthrown fade route, trying to take a shot and throw it deep, but it just comes off his hand really poorly and fluttered out. And now just a gift to Coppett, coming off the bench, making a play. And a nice return by Coppett. Shows some speed there.
And just 2:36 remains. Aquinas now with their second team offense out there. Blake Deaver is the backup quarterback. Run to the near side. It's Gerald Lane Jr. on the carry. 5'7", 170-pound junior.
Well, Deaver did a good job of coming in and helped his team win some games when Rizzo had the concussion up in New Jersey in the Don Bosco prep game, and did his job. And now moving forward, it'll be Deaver as the quarterback.
Frank Coppett's older brother played on the 2012 state championship game. Fred, he actually sent us a tweet earlier calling Aquinas as the state champion. Deaver with a toss out wide. Nice hard running off the bench by Jackson Kincaid. Marco Casulo's team getting closer. Even him starting to, there's the Gatorade bath. Didn't get him as good as we've seen some other coaches here at the state finals. On a cold night like tonight, he's definitely going to feel that.
Yeah, he is. It's fun. Got him again with a Gatorade bottle. We were watching earlier, Austin, and they took 2 of the Gatorade jugs away. They had 2 people that worked there take them away, but left the 2 with water out there, so it wouldn't damage this artificial surface, I guess. And
Lane pinballs his way inside the 30. James Oliphant, one of the captains for Aquinas, and he definitely set up Coach Casulo with this one.
Yeah, he's like, hey, give me a hug, Coach. But Casulo kind of notices it. Watch. Okay, you give me a hug. No, you're not. You don't love me that much. You're going to get me. And oh, does that feel so good.
You know, there was a great moment. I don't think we caught it with our cameras, but Oliphant and Samuel Bruce went over to one of the coolers, twisted it off, and looked inside, and they both looked at each other with a big smile. There's enough in there. Yeah. We're going to be all right.
And they nodded their head like, okay, we're ready.
Deaver's going to take a knee. We'll start our discussions about player of the game, Pat. I think somebody from the Aquinas defense, Brandon Boyce, has had himself a pretty good night. What do you think?
I like Boyce. Boy, he wreaked havoc. I mean, Bosa had a great night as well, but Boyce really did a good job, and a lot of tackles for loss. I mean, it's really a team effort. I mean, you give it to the whole defense, too. Tremendous effort. What a great team this is. A senior-laden team, 1 junior, and that junior is Bosa, who may be the best defensive player in the nation.
One more knee from Blake Deaver, and that should do it. Aquinas adds to its school record with a 7 shutout this season. 7 shutouts in 15 games for the Raiders defense. The final 15 seconds will tick off the clock. Celebration well underway for state title number 8 for the Aquinas Raiders. St. Thomas Aquinas is the Class 7A state champion. Now second alone in the Florida football hierarchy, 8 state championships for the St. Thomas Aquinas Raiders from Fort Lauderdale. We'll have more from the Citrus Bowl coming up, including an interview with our player of the game. St. Thomas Aquinas wins the 7A title. Back at the Citrus Bowl, celebration underway for the Raiders from St. Thomas Aquinas. Finished the season 14-1. Number of victories matching the jersey number of quarterback Jake Rizzo. And another dominant performance here tonight. Despina Barton down on the field with our Bright House Sports Network player of the game.
Hey guys, I'm down with our player of the game, Brandon Boyce. He led with tackles for losses and tackles on the game. Any better way to go out your senior year?
This is the best way possible, man. Putting in work all week, year long. Just you fighting through it, and it's just amazing. I love this team.
2 championships in the past 4 seasons. You led them to a shutout. How does that feel about your defensive crew taking charge?
Defense has been working hard all year. It's only right. It's only right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Now you transferred in from university just a year ago. Was this the expectation here at St. Thomas?
Of course. Of course.
And how does it feel to kind of get this one in and earn that ring?
It's the greatest feeling in the world right now. Honestly, I'm happy. Really happy.
All right, Brandon. Congratulations again, our player of the game.